Hello, and welcome to the Volunteer Community Digitizer Project. What you're seeing here is the spreadsheet where we pull the descriptive metadata out of each USCT pension application. Again, thank you for all your hard work. My name is Jennifer Randall. I'm the lead archivist here at the International African American Museum's Center for Family History. So this is just a sample spreadsheet for the USCT pension applications. I'll briefly go over the fields. I won't go too far in depth, but the first part is title. This will be the title that shows up on the actual digital collection. And for this, we want you to pull the name of the individual. And so what I've done here is give you a sample, John Smith. That's pretty straightforward. Sometimes you will see people who are, a John A. Smith, a John A. C. Smith. However they are listed, please put their name in that box. The next section is a little more confusing. This is the date. So this is going to be a date range, and we want you to list the oldest date mentioned in the paperwork through the latest date. And so that could be the date listed at the bottom of one of the pieces of paperwork. This could be a stamp that is stamped later on a piece of paper. It's going to vary greatly. Typically, a lot of the USCT soldiers have passed away by the time this paperwork is being filed. So it will be sometime after their death through whenever the pensioner completes the application. It could be through the end of their life, etc. Just remember, we do not want the dates that they served or anything like that. It's the oldest date on one of the records through the newest date. And so the sample here, how we want them listed is the day, month, year, no spaces, hyphen, no spaces, day, month, year. And then in the next section, these are going to be any aliases that are listed. Sometimes people had one name before they entered the service and they changed their name for a litany of reasons when they joined up, and they might be different. Sometimes it's because they are misspelled. So we want people to be able to search all spellings and all names. So please put the alias here. For the sample that I included, I put not listed. Whenever we don't have an item, we don't want to leave that blank. We want to literally write not listed. If there's, multiple names, don't put a comma. Actually want a semicolon, space, and then the next alias or the next item. All right, so for the next column, this one is a little comprehensive. You're going to put a lot more information here. So you're going to do the regiment, the name of the USCT regiment the veteran joined, then the company, then the rank, mustered in date and place, followed by mustered out date and place. However, this is going to look different for every file because not all of them list mustered in, not all list mustered out. Some list both, some list one, some list enrolled rather than mustered in or out. And so you're going to have to make a judgment call based on your individual record. And I know it's not listed on here, but I also want you to put the veteran's death, date, and place at the bottom. And again, we want to follow that naming convention of day, month, year. And then for any location that you put, I want you, if you're putting a place in the United States, city, state, United States. Sometimes you won't have a direct location or a specific location. It might be a county, and it's going to be the same format: county, state, country. Okay. The next column is going to be a little bit more information. Other locations listed during time of service. You might have to read a couple times over to get all of these locations. Some of them are in the United States, some might be just over the border in Mexico, or they might be on the water, say on the Ohio River. For this sample here, I've put Baltimore, comma, Maryland, comma, United States. The next line in that column is other comrades mentioned. Sometimes you'll see this, sometimes you won't. You just want to make sure that it is someone that says in some sort of statement that they served with a specific soldier. If they don't have any comrades listed, again, just write non-listed or not listed, sorry. The next column is going to be name or names of spouses. So for this one, I just included one spouse, Jane Doe. Some will have two, and that way, if you were to do that, you would do Jane Doe, parentheses, first wife, semicolon, the next wife's name. And then underneath that, children. I put 2 children for the sample. If these children had different mothers, you would put the mother's name in parentheses just after that child, just so that we can keep them organized. The next column here, more information that you're going to have to search for, the veteran's birth date and place. This is not listed in a lot of the files, but we have seen it and it is great information to have. And again, you want to make sure that you put day, month, year. Plantations, we are looking for the name of the plantation. Again, we don't see that super often, but it is really, really good information when we do. A lot of them you will also find enslaver or enslavers of the soldier prior to his joining the USCT, and you want to put those folks' names here. If there's more than one, again, semicolon, space, next name. Again, in the next column, parents of veteran. For this individual, I put not listed. Sometimes the pensioner is actually the soldier's mother, so you would put her name here. Sometimes her spouse's name would be here. There might be some sort of declaration and some sort of summary of something where both parents are listed. Again, it's not super common to see this, but again, when we do get it, it is great information to have. Sometimes we'll have other listed family members as well. I put another listed family member in my sample here, and you can also put their relationship here in parentheses, which would be fantastic. The next, if the soldier was married and the pensioner's wife's information is listed, you would put that here. Wife's place of birth, again, city, state, country. And then sometimes you'll also have the wife's previous enslaver listed, and then wife's other family members also. And for the rest of the columns in this spreadsheet, you'll see other information starting at column J through column R, and that will be the same for every soldier in your batch. And so you can just copy and paste that all the way down the spreadsheet. And that's it. Once you have all of this information, make sure you send it back to us and we will get that uploaded as soon as possible. Again, thank you so much. And if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out.